This week on One Day Leader, our contestants investigate the increase in the VAT rate and how it will affect our cost of living. Stay tuned right here to Mzansi for sure. Good evening, Sanbonan Babugele Makaya and Pinding Namugele Gu One Day Leader. Tonight, we are coming to you live from our studios in Randburg. Tonight, we begin our first round of eliminations for this season. Who will rise and who will fall? You'll find out at the end of this show after our leaders have performed on their debates. Tonight's topic is the 15% VAT increase and how it will affect the incomes of South African households. But Mzansi, before we get into that, let's get to the information you've all been waiting for. Let's take a look at the results of how you, the viewers, scored for our leaders last week. Kuhlekonke leads the pack with 2,431 viewer votes, and leader 2, Philasande, lags way behind with 44 votes. Congratulations, leader 3. Kuhlekonke, you get 1 point. On to our series scoreboard now. That shows the second time in a row, leader 3, Kuhlekonke, leads with 17 points, followed by leader 4, Bhekisisa, with 14 points, and last on the list is Gugulethu with 9 points. Kushubile maqabane. Mzansi, remember to keep voting as your votes do indeed count. But back to tonight's show. Earlier this year, the former Minister of Finance announced that VAT will increase by 1 percentage point to 15%. To bring some relief to poorer households, he mentioned that 19 staple grocery basket items would remain zero rated. But civic organizations, labor unions and some political parties stated that this increase will negatively impact the buying power of poor households and further entrench poverty and inequality. Now, this leads me to today's debate topic. Will the VAT increase further entrench poverty and inequality here in South Africa? Our leaders are set in position to tackle today's topic, but first, let's hear their vision statements. As usual, we welcome you to One Day Leader, Leader 1. Your vision statement, please.
Thank you, Pearl. South Africa needs a revolution in the quality of her leadership. As a rising leader of South Africa, I am determined to contribute to the creation of a disciplined leadership culture. There's a new sheriff in town, and she means business. So let's get to the business of the day today, of leading with integrity and discipline. If we can lead ourselves well, we can lead a nation even better. The future is female.
Well, before we continue with our show, we'd like to take this moment to inform you that leader 2, Philasande Jama, will no longer be continuing in the competition. Here is a short message from him.
Hi guys, this is Philasande, leader number 2. I had a medical condition of which I thought it was taken care of, but unfortunately last week it resurfaced and I have to leave the show. Yeah, and it's sad, but life has to go on. I just want to thank to all my supporters, for all the votes, the messages you've been sending, to the One Day Leader team for believing in me and giving me a chance, and also everybody that has been part of this journey with me. And I want you to know that this is not the end of the road. I'll still be working out there, like I was before the show. So thank you so much, and good luck to all the other contestants. May the best men win the show. To all those who want to enter One Day Leader, I would say grab it with both hands. This is the best opportunity. The people that I've met, the exposure that I got, I've been exposed to many great things that are happening out there. So if you want to enter the show, go for it. And it's the best opportunity ever. Thank you so much to all the stakeholders that have been part of this. Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity.
Siyabulela kakhulu kuwe Philasande for having been a part of the show. Your honesty and integrity revealed a true leadership quality in you. For now, we continue with the show. Leader 3, welcome. Your vision statement, please.
Sizwe simnyama bumbanani. Mamwini Bhekisisa Mandela was Wamandla. She marched towards the realization of all Africans. Let us unite and break the chains of generational poverty and illiteracy. Phakama mntu omusha, ixesha lifikile.
And we move along swiftly. Welcome, Leader 4. Your vision statement, please.
Thank you very much, Mam Timande. We are in a South Africa where the majority is swimming in a pool of poverty. Therefore, we need a South Africa where the means of production are benefiting the poorest masses of our people. The property ownership is not for the selected few. Indeed, a South Africa that sees no color, but it sees humanity. This is our generational mission. Team, nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop us.
Good evening to you, Leader 5. Your vision statement, please.
My grandmother tells me of a South Africa where umuntu was umuntu ngabantu, where it was kindness and not political affiliation that ruled the land. It begins and ends with us. Mayibuye Africa. Hashtag I was born for this.
And finally, Leader 6, it's your turn.
Thank you very much, Pearl. South Africa, I still envision a leader that will empower a child from a rural area and a township to lead, give a nation access to the land and quality education for our economy to remain alive. South Africa, in the spirit of Umamu Bhekisisa Mandela, please join me and chance for change.
Thank you very much to you, leaders. Now, let's see how you at home can vote to choose your one-day leader for this season.
To vote for Gugulethu, SMS 1 to 32672. For Kuhlekonke, SMS Leader 3. For Bhekisisa, SMS Leader 4. For Sibonisile, SMS Leader 5. And for Zongezile, SMS Leader 6.
Nikhumbule ke nani lapha emakhaya ukuthi your viewer votes rather do count. The winner of this contest stands to win a grand prize of 300,000 rand that will certainly change their lives for the better. Ngakho ke Mzansi, keep your phone in the palm of your hand and be ready to make your vote. Vote for your leader of this season. In studio today, we do have Thabang Mashego, who's been closely working with our leaders this season on their personal development. We'll say good evening to her. Oh, Thabang, what can you tell us about the personal development of our leaders throughout this journey?
Thank you, Pearl. You know, one of the adages that I often use is that a seed doesn't look like a tree, but the tree is stuck in the seed. And it truly has been a privilege for me to see the leaders progress, you know, from being that seed. I've developed and I've helped them and partnered with them from infancy, you know, from their vision statements to now, and I am so proud of you. I call them my babies. They know. When they want McDonald's, we go just to debate, and for me, providing them a platform where they can actualize and be exposed to the things that they debate in studio has truly been a blessing for me. Zongezile, the think tank, Sibonisile, the authentic, you know, voice of Africa who speaks about identity. Bheki, the statesman, the governor, who is so adamant and so firm in his beliefs. Kuhlekonke, the assertive feminist who stands, you know, based on her values and supports herself. Pila was also one of my closest as well. He was, you know, all about the local economy and giving back home. And Gugu, the strategist. So I truly am proud of them. I've seen them transgress and grow from being a follower to true leaders. So thank you very much. Thank you.
We thank you very much. And now let's meet our guest judge. He is an entrepreneur and a renowned public speaker on small business development in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders, and here in the studio, please welcome Mr. Lebo Gunguluza.
Thank you.
Now, Lebo, I need to come to you and find out what your thoughts are on the impact that this VAT increase will have on South African households.
Well, as you know, that in South Africa we're a democracy, and the government has made its decision, and they looked into the situation of VAT, and they understood the landscape and the context in which they should be increasing the VAT. And I think, yes, it will affect most businesses. It will affect the pockets of those who are underprivileged. But certainly, to some extent, when the country collects more income and more VAT, it means that the country is able to give back more for the development of infrastructure and any other resources that they need to build our country.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
that view. Of course, let's not forget we also have our resident judges. They are Catherine Constantinides, an environmentalist, entrepreneur, social activist, and executive director of Miss Earth South Africa, and Tebogo Ditshego, who's an entrepreneur, public relations guru, and founder of Read a Book SA. Let's give them a warm welcome. Now, as I said before, our topic of the day is the VAT increase and how it might affect the spending power of impoverished South African families. Let's take a look at how today's task relates to this issue.
Good day, leaders. Once again, you'll be tackling a real-world issue into your leadership development. We'd like to call this one Economics 101.
Focus has now shifted to the national budget speech to be delivered by Finance Minister Malusi Qeba.
In this way, and as urban poet Kendrick Lamar says, we're going to be right, we're going to be all right.
Today, poor South Africans are going to pay for it.
Our theme this week is the 2018 VAT increase by 1 percentage point to 15%. It is your duty to find out the impact that this will have on the spending power of citizens in our country. You will go to Dennisville in the Free State, where you'll identify a household which faces the ordinary challenges of the high cost of living in our country.
Kalibito ke nna Thabo Shadrack Masakwane ka bodulo ke dula ona Dennisville ke sebetsa local municipality Metsimaholo ke le general worker ke dula le mofumahadi le ngwana ke nna breadwinner as VAT increase na hangata e tlo ngafecta nna ke le ntate wa lelapa.
What kind of impact will this have on South African families, on the spending power? How will this affect breadwinners? Sibonisile, you are the lead on this task, and as usual, it's up to you to ensure that you guide this team to successfully completing this task. Leaders, you have 24 hours. You're dismissed.
Mzansi, hlala nathi ukuze nibone ukuthi abaholi bethu ngabe bazoxazulula kanjani lolu daba ningayindawo. Ngiphinde nginamukele ku-One Day Leader ohlelweni labaholi benu bakusasa. Tonight's topic is the 15% VAT increase. As part of their task, our leaders continue their probe on the potential impact of this new hike.
So when we went to Dennisville to meet Thabo, we had quite an interesting conversation with him.
Ubona ile into right hore VAT inyuluwe or into wrong or basi no betsa.
Right inyuluwe because batjha ba bangata in South Africa ba struggle ho kena school. So ba hloka free education.
We were deployed to go and compile a list with the family.
Mer fetsa go bua le ntate kontle. So party e nngwe ya task ya rona ne ke go tla mo go lona re le kopeng gore le re fe list ya di tlhokego tsa grocery. And then from there re tlo go calculate la tax ya teng gore ha e tla go increase ha ba simola ba itsenya e tlo go nna bokae. So after engaging with them, we compiled a list of the products where VAT is going to be added on. And we also educated them that there are actually products where VAT is not going to be added on.
abantu abaningi abayazi ukuthi yini VAT. Mawubabuza ukuthi yini VAT, ukuthi yini yona lento leyo.
I get you.
Value added tax.
Those people are all running businesses. It doesn't matter whether there's a structure or whatever, but they're business people. It was quite interesting to find out how many of them actually did not even know what VAT was.
Benazi ukuthi iVAT iyakhuphuka nge-1% as from next month.
No, bengayazi sister. iVAT just ngiyayizwa nje but anginayo isiqiniso sakhona ukuthi into enjani.
Kusho mawuyothenga ukudla lesi khona manje bathi ibhiya lesi oyisinkwa i10 rand. Ngoba ivalue added tax muzwe into le athi uyiphakamise nge1% uthenge 15%. Izos affect thina abantu abamnyama. Cabanga senyothenga ibhiya ngabo ma20 bani rand.
For me, kungibonisile ukuthi abantu abaningi eSouth Africa abazi baspenda malini ukudla abakuthengayo ekhaya. Ngoba mhlambe uhola namhlanje and then uthi ay kule mali enginayo ngizothenga igrocery mhlambe ya2000 kuphela. And by the time sekushaya halfway through the month, isiphelile.
We came back with the products and then we calculated the VAT increase, the amount that it's going to be at. And then from there, we told them the difference afterwards. So we actually showed them how it's going to affect certain products that they're going to be buying every single month.
The economist really opened up our minds in terms of the fact of like how does VAT end up accumulating. So he spoke about the cumulative effect of it.
In South Africa, we've got what we call a progressive tax system, which is the more you earn, the more you pay. And so you try as far as possible that whenever you tax people, you don't tax them. You try, the poor should not be taxed at the same level as the rich, and certainly that the people who bear most of the tax bill should be those who are rich, so who can afford it. And I think an important part also of our tax system is that part of our money goes to helping those in need, so we have grants.
I think he just really wanted us to look at it from a broader perspective and not just to say, hey, look, it's going up and it's going to affect us in this and this and that way.
Why didn't we look into the personal income tax and in particular the VAT? Because if there's a certain reason for us to increase this in order to curb a certain matter, why didn't we go for the personal income tax?
VAT is probably the easiest tax to collect because you can't really run away from it. You must buy something at the store and you pay it immediately. It's not as if, and also it has the biggest catch. So it was quite easy, it's an easy tax to do. And certainly, I think the government thought that it would give us the kick we needed.
We'll probably find ourselves in a situation where trade unions and people that are working probably going to start protesting once they start feeling the heat that, actually, this is too much, we need an increment. And the other thing that I learned from him is that we need a balance. You can't increase one thing and then leave the other.
I mean, why are we having people in government who are sitting on their brains? Why are they not thinking of any other thing of generating money without squeezing abantu abahluphekayo? Because they are squeezing abantu abangananex for izinto maybe half of the time they don't benefit from.
Siyabonga kakhulu siyabonga Xanti Bayi for giving our leaders a basic crash course in Economics 101. Masibuye idolo abaholi bethu to get into some hot debates. Welcome back to One Day Leader. Before the break, our leaders examined the looming effects of the 15% VAT increase on family incomes. Don't forget to join the conversation by visiting our Facebook page, One Day Leader SA, to share your comments on our topic. Also, check out our Twitter page. It's at One Day Leader, and Mzansi, keep us trending at #OneDayLeader6. It's now time to hear from our judges what their thoughts are about this week's task. And Catherine, I'll come to you. What are your thoughts about what you saw in the insert?
Well, this insert was really not about points, so we won't be awarding or removing a point from the team for this week. However, it was a fact-finding mission. Gugu, you opened with such an important question. First, let us ask, are communities even aware that there is a VAT increase? So well done on that opening question that really set the framework for your task. I think it's important that we really reiterate at this point of the game, you are young leaders that have grown immensely. We are so proud of you. And this is really about how can you extract the information that you need to go out and find? How are you making sure that you yourselves understand what the topic is? How do you delve into it? And how do you execute what it is that you're taking away from the tasks that you've done, as well as the information shared amongst yourselves? It is really at the heat of the season, and we want to see your leadership skills shine. We want to see you in the best possible form, and it's important to remember that as each of you stands here in front of us, you are young leaders who have traveled a long road, and you have made mistakes, but you have learned from them. You have grown, and we are so immensely proud of you. We sit here as a panel of judges, and myself and Tebza Wamoklakeng, we look at you and we're proud. And tonight, you have to continue fighting for those positions at those podiums.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Now, just to remind you at home, our judges will not be awarding or taking away points on this task as we go forward with our elimination rounds. Before we start with our first round of debates, let's take a look at the rules of engagement.
These are the rules for the one-day leader debate. You have 30 seconds to state your vision statement. 60 seconds for the opponent to challenge, and 30 seconds to conclude your debate.
Well, today's topic is, will the VAT increase further entrench poverty and inequality in South Africa? Our first debate is between Zongezile, Leader 6, and Sibonisile, Leader 5. You know the rules of engagement by now, leaders. Leader 6, your 30 seconds starts now.
South Africa, our Gini coefficient has increased from 0.66 to 0.7. Over 50% of our population earn less than 700 per month. Now, we need to understand that the VAT increase is not excluded on things like health items and simple basic education things. And when you look at the balance of the increment between the VAT and the social grant, you realize that they do not balance. VAT increased by 7.1%, social grant increased by 5%. That doesn't make any sense at all. That means that our inequality will increase further. So what we need to do is include...
You have 60
you
seconds.
have not answered the question as to how this will affect ordinary South Africans, especially the poorest in our communities, and what can we do?
I'm concerned because I've mentioned two things on how they're going to get affected.
Said it will go
I mentioned
down,
health
but you did
and
not
basic.
Say how will it
no,
affect
I didn't say that. I said it's going to affect the poor on the basic needs such as the health things and the basic school things because they are not excluded. The 19 items won't assist the poor or rather even allow them to be able to.
And what are your solutions to that? What do we do?
Very
because
simple.
we are here now.
So
the VAT
right.
is here.
Yeah.
What can we do? We need solutions
so
to
move
forward.
So the reason why VAT was increased is because we had a 50 billion shortfall, right? What I'm proposing is that there are two things that we can do. We need to increase our import tariffs. That on its own, it is a practical solution. If we increase our import tariffs, we'll be able, listen, if we increase our import tariffs, that will be able to generate a lot of money to curb the 50 billion.
What about ordinary South Africans right now that want to figure out, what do I do with this VAT increase right now?
We have to increase, include the health
Time's
and
up, leaders.
basic education things into the system.
Time's up. Zongezile, we have the remaining 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. This is very important. We need to understand that already the energy and transportation costs are affecting small businesses. What we can do to curb the 50 billion shortfall instead is to increase our import tariffs. The second thing that we need to do is to pass a legislation that will enforce the private sector to contribute more to our economy. The corporate tax has decreased by 9%. It was originally at 28%. It is, at 35%. It is currently sitting at 28%. That doesn't make any sense at all. We need to increase the corporate
your time's
tax.
up. Tables are turned. You've got 30 seconds.
The current status quo dictates that you need to be well off in order to receive adequate and professional financial advice. This has been a huge blunder and has caused problems for our whole economical system. The household debt stands at 71% as we stand now, and this was before the VAT increase. The truth is, South Africans are financially illiterate. The majority of them are financially illiterate. We need to go back to the systems. We need less loan sharks and more financial literacy programs
Time's up.
in our schools.
Sibonisile, do you understand that the VAT increment was for the 50 billion shortfall that we have?
I
and for also for
absolutely
free fund
understand
education?
that. What I'm saying
solutions,
that-
let me ask you a
Can-
question.
can I-
Can I ask you a question?
Alright.
What solution, practical solutions are you proposing that we can
Can
implement
you let me
instead of
answer?
VAT?
What I'm saying is South Africans had financial problems before this. In 2014 alone,
Solutions.
we had 86
Solutions.
people
We're not
who
using
were-
VAT. What else can we
Alright,
invent to
what
curb
I am
the
saying
shortfall?
is, in our education system, we're not teaching
No,
how
don't
to...
talk about the
No,
education system. Give
you're
me the
not letting me
solutions.
answer. We're not
It's because
teaching
you are not
people
telling
how to
people
save
practical
money.
solutions.
Solving for X does not help you learn how to solve actual
Solutions.
financial monies. The problem is we need to go back to our community.
We have a 50
there
billion
needs to be an
shortfall.
office where
What else
somebody
can we
come.
implement
Listen,
besides
there
VAT?
needs to
It's
be an
simple.
office
It's
where
very
someone
simple.
can come. You're not
Don't
letting me
talk about
finish.
offices. Talk
there
about
needs
the
to be an
solutions
office
that
where
we need
someone
to
can come with their
implement.
payslip and say, this is how much I earn. How do I save? What do I do? What can I do to budget even with the smallest thing
They
that
don't
I have?
Save what? Because they don't
That-
have money.
No, 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 no.
Save what?
With 3,000.
Give us a solution.
Time's
that's
up,
going to
ladies.
curb.
Sibonisile, you have 30 seconds.
You need to understand this is the first VAT increase in over 20 years. We understand its need, but education is important.
Yes.
There are programs such as the Multi-Financial Dialogue that teaches the basics of how to use money, how to figure out your payslip, but these are not accessible to the poorest in our communities. We need to infiltrate these even in our education system. We need to have classes that teach how do you save money? How do you work into with what you have and make it grow?
Time's up. Thank you very much. All right, judges, I will come to you. Tebogo, I need you to keep it brief in 30 seconds. Your comments on how that first debate went and the verdict, please.
Hi, Gushubi. Give them another round of applause. Hi, Gushubi. You guys did a very good job. I think, Sibonisile, you came from a grassroots level, speaking about how we can, prevention is better than cure. How do we spread financial literacy? But Zongezile, you brought it with the facts. You came with a macro financial perspective. And I think you actually spoke about how we can increase revenues using import tariffs. I wanted Sibonisile to come in and say that's going to create a trade war. You should have challenged him on his solution, and you didn't do that.
And the verdict?
Therefore, for this debate, Zongezile, you took it.
Thank you very much to you, Tebogo. Our voting lines are still open. Ngakho-ke qhubekani ukuvotela abaholi and bathanda kakhulu ngo-SMS igama elithi leader and their number to 32672. Your votes will be revealed at the top of next week's episode. Masibuye Dolo, we get to our next round of debates.
National Youth Development Agency is an agency of government that is tasked with all youth development work in the country. We have an implementing responsibility. We must also be able to give a clear direction on youth development across sectors. We must also monitor and evaluate youth development. Our programs are really trying to focus into job creation and employment and creating job opportunities for young people. We are also trying to focus young people into skills and education skills and development.
Welcome back. That was a message from our proud sponsor, the NYDA, who play a crucial role in developing the youth of our nation. Now back to tonight's show. Our topic is, will the VAT increase further entrench poverty and inequality in South Africa? Let's move on to our next round of debate. Well, Kuhlekonke, it's your turn and you are up against Leader 4, Bhekisisa. But Kuhlekonke, will start with you, so your 30 seconds starts now.
We have invested and created the best conditions for the upper class, and in the meantime, the poor suffer more. We can never minimize the lives of basic South Africans to a food basket. Even if you put 50 items in that basket, or gas or when people can't even afford to pay for gas. Let us start looking at the lives of poor people beyond the basket and say, let us zero rate the basic needs of livelihoods for poor people. I refuse to reduce this debate to a basket. But what are we doing? Let's
Time's
zero rate.
up. Your 60 seconds start now, leaders.
Yes, Kuhlekonke, you said something about zero rate other things in the list of exempted items. Which items specifically that you wish to be added?
Okay, Bhekisisa, thank you.
Yes.
I think that we should look at the 17 million of the South Africans who are SASSA beneficiaries. Take their SASSA card and say you're exempted, zero rated.
But I still
go buy
don't
your
understand
groceries, go buy electricity with that card, or if you're a beneficiary.
No.
Bhekisisa?
Which items should be added?
Bhekisisa, I've given you a solution.
Aye.
I'm giving you a solution. It's electricity,
Electricity
medication,
must be added on
everything on that card. If they want to live,
Electricity.
we cannot reduce the life of South
Electricity
Africans
is
to
it an
buying
item?
food. You need more to survive than just eating.
You are not answering.
Bhekisisa. So the solution that I'm giving you right now is
which
to
one?
say that
Which
poor people
solution?
are suffering. The crisis did not start now.
You are not
It
giving me
started
any
way before.
solutions. You are
Because you are
just-
not
you are-
listening.
you are elaborating
Bhekisisa,
and you-
the solution
Yeah.
is South Africans have always been
No.
suffering.
You said
The
something
poor
about something to be
cannot
added in the
afford to
items
buy
which are
food,
zero rated.
livelihoods.
Which ones?
Leader 3, you have the remaining 30 seconds.
I put to you today that you can put 50 items in the food basket, but people in South Africa in general will not afford to live and survive. Therefore, we propose to you that we ensure that government can regulate the system. Food prices have been inflating for years and years on end, but people are complaining on social media. We can't even afford to buy oros, comrades. But what is happening? South Africans do not afford their livelihoods, you can't afford taxis, everything has been inflated because the government cannot regulate.
The tables are turned.
At this point in time, the increase on VAT will hit hard on the pockets of the poorest masses of our people. So what is to be done? We need to add more items in the zero rate, which was announced that most items won't be taxed. And then we can move on to raising tariffs so that when goods are coming here, when iPhone is coming here, when VW is coming here, we can get more money. Why? Because we want to close the gap between those who are rich and those who are poor and do away with the inequalities.
Thank you very much. Time's up. Leaders, you have 60 seconds.
Bhekisisa,
Yes.
are you aware that most people who are living below the poverty line spend most of their money on transport to get to work? Which baskets are you talking about?
Okay, basic medication, candles in the
Also, we
village.
agree on my solution.
No. You said nothing. You said nothing. I'm giving you practical items. What is what can you say?
Okay, Bhekisisa,
Yes.
another question for
Yeah.
you. You're saying that we should deviate the problem and saying that
It's
let's
not
charge other
deviated.
people.
It's not at this point in time. People are not employed. So when you increase this, it will hit hard on those who have nothing.
What about,
Yeah.
Bhekisisa, we are recognizing that inflation, food has been going up.
Yeah.
You are saying that in the basket there's not even meat or whatever. People can't afford
No,
food in general.
meat is already there in the list. Do you know the list? Meat is there.
Bhekisisa,
Meat
you are
is there.
misinforming the
No,
country.
it's there.
No, Bhekisisa, we can't be doing that to the country.
South Africa is not there.
Protein.
It's there.
But I'll continue to ask you questions, Bhekisisa.
Yes.
Bhekisisa, are you aware that it's not just the poorest of the poor who are not affording, but
Thank
also
you very
middle
much,
income? What is
leaders.
the
Time's
solution?
up. Bhekisisa, close your argument, please.
Government must not think that its first mandate it is to take money from our people, but it is to deliver services and generate ways to come up with money so that they can subsidize the poor and make those who afford to pay tax. Our people are more poor today than they were before. They don't have jobs, they don't have houses. Yay, if you want to see your mother who comes back with leftovers because they can't afford food, if you want to see your children who go to school because you can't afford shoes so that you can buy shoes, abandon this mission.
Time's up. Thank you very much. Catherine, I can see that the judges are still deliberating. I'll just give you a moment. You at home, continue to use that hashtag #OneDayLeader6. We want your input. We want you to engage with our conversation tonight. So make sure that you do tweet us and make sure that we continue to trend on our social media platforms. All right, I'll check in with the judges. Catherine, your comments and your verdict, please.
Okay, this was a really interesting debate. Kuhlekonke, unfortunately, I think you lost control of the debate when Bhekisisa came in. But your fighting spirit right through. You could hear it from the audience in their response to what you were saying to Bhekisisa. I think that this was a really robust debate. I think that the points were really varied. We as a panel of judges have very different viewpoints on this. We have decided we're going to give you both a point on this debate.
All right. Our final contestant, well, is Leader 1. She is to debate any one of our leaders behind the podium. So basically, Gugulethu, you can select any one of your fellow contestants to debate with you because you are an odd number. Now, think very carefully about your choice because it could make or break the sheriff in town.
I'll go with Sibonisile.
Sibonisile.
Yes.
All right. Gugulethu has chosen to debate Sibonisile. Leader 1, your 30 seconds start now.
Pick and Pay introduced the idea of VAT busters, but the ultimate VAT busters really lies in the quality of our leadership. South Africa lost billions during the cabinet reshuffles, and this VAT increase is a result of such drastic moves by our government, further outlining the fact that we need a revolution in the quality of our leadership. The VAT increase is set to avoid further downgrades to junk status, but the reality is there are many South Africans on the ground that have already been living in junk status. The VAT increase will cause the middle class to suffer.
Time's up. Thank you very much.
I have not heard any solutions from you, Gugulethu.
Okay. My first solution is that we ensure stability in the Ministry of Finance.
How do we ensure stability? How does that affect ordinary South Africans?
Okay, these haphazard reshuffles, for example, that caused us to lose so many billions, they should be against the law. It is absolutely unlawful that we have things like this happen.
The VAT increment has happened. We're here. The VAT increment has happened.
Okay.
How do we ensure that the lowest
Let me give you some solutions. Another thing is that South Africa needs to portray properties of a good tax system. Tax needs to be efficient, which means it causes less distortions in the economy.
We need to have
efficiency in rates that are levied with tax.
The core thing in this topic is the people.
Yes, it is the people. But this is going to help the people. The reason why we have got this VAT increase is because this country is less and less able to pay up its debts.
South Africans watching you and they want solutions from you.
Yes, I'm giving you solutions. Another solution is that policymakers should give consideration to tax equity. So every South African
Time's up. Thank you very much. Leader 1, you've got the remaining 30 seconds to close your argument.
The burden of VAT needs to be fairly distributed among the citizens of South Africa. With the VAT increasing and seeing that our country has long been on sale to the Guptas, can the price of the value of South Africa also receive a significant VAT increase so that our value and our worth can be accounted for? And that ultimately no one can be able to afford South Africa. If we have a sizable GDP growth in this country, we'll see that people will not be scared by words like junk status.
Time's up. Thank you very much, Leader 1. Leader 5, you've got 30 seconds.
I think the biggest flaw in our argument is one, not understanding the importance of this VAT increment. We need free education. We need help in our health sectors. We have not had a VAT increment in over 20 years. So now that we are here, what are we saying? What can we do? One, we need to be financially savvy, guys. The government cannot do everything for us. We need to learn how to save. We need to learn how to budget with the little that we have and see what we can make from it. We cannot call everything to the government. It starts with us.
No. In what you have said, I haven't heard you answering the question of whether this VAT increase will increase inequality in our country.
You know why you have not heard that? Because we have been in a financial crisis for years.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
Let me finish.
I'm talking about state
Before
capture,
this VAT increment, there were still South Africans that are in debt. There are still South Africans
I already said that you're actually agreeing with my point. You're agreeing with my point.
I
said
back.
Before S&P Global downgraded South Africa to junk status, many South Africans were already living in junk status.
We need to fix the core of the problem.
Yes. Okay, provide solutions yourself.
The VAT is at the
We've
surface.
got people in the middle class who cannot pay back
The VAT is at the surface. The real problem is our inability
to spend money someone who cannot pay back their loans, because they're only in the middle class because they're living on debt.
The real problem is our inability to spend money wisely.
But give me a solution as well.
I am giving you a solution.
There's so many organizations that are giving people financial literacy. If you've got debt, there's so many
those
organizations
are
you can go to.
accessible to the poor?
Yes, they are accessible to the poor.
Time's up, leaders. Thank you very much.
As I said in the beginning. In order to get sound financial advice, you need to already have money. That does not make sense. The government, if you're going to increase the tax, go back to the community, say, listen, you know, we spoke to people that didn't even know what VAT was. That shows that there's a lack of education in our country about finances. We need to go back to the bottom. We need to educate our South Africans on what is it that we do, and we need to put it in our education system as well. Maths is all about finances that we're never going to use. It's numbers that don't help us at all.
Thank you very much, leaders. That was indeed our final debate. We now come to our guest judge, Lebo Kunguluza. Your thoughts on that final debate? I must say, our leaders lost it there a bit when it came to the basic rules of engagement, the talking on top of each other. But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, but I got the points very, very clear because I'm in the financial sector, I'm in fintech. And the most important thing that came out of this debate between the two of them was the fact that she focused a lot of energy on what the government is doing and what it did wrong, but did not focus on the actual solution. She was very adamant on the solution, which is to educate our young people, to educate the people who are poor, so that they also understand that this has happened and what can you do to make sure that you survive in this environment, because it's already happened, they cannot reverse it. So how do you survive and cope in this environment? It does not help to blame people because it's already happened and they know and they gave the reasons why it happened, because they're trying to make sure that they invest more in infrastructure to build more houses, more schools. And I think on your side, you are saying, against that, what can you do as an individual to safeguard yourself into a sustainable future? Thank you very much. I think you've taken the point. Thank you, Gugu. Thank you, Sibonisile, right? Thank you.
Sibonisile got that point. After the break, we will find out how our studio audience will vote for their favorite leader and which one of these leaders will be packing their bags and heading home. Welcome back to this exciting episode of One Day Leader. Now, South Africa, the moment you've been waiting for. It is our first elimination round for this season. It is indeed. What a journey it's been for one of our contestants who will be sent home tonight. Firstly, let me get to our studio audience vote before we get into who has been eliminated. Before the break, they had a chance to vote for their favorite leader. Who has impressed them the most? Who has the studio audience voted for? I believe the results are in. Congratulations, leader number 5. You've won the audience vote. All right, now let's take a look at how the scoreboard has changed. There we go. Kuhlekonke leads with 18 points and Gugulethu lags behind with 9 points. Well, congratulations to you, Leader 5. I would like to thank you, judges Tebogo, Catherine, and Lebo. Lebo, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on tonight's episode. It's been quite a discussion that we've had. Your presence is much appreciated.
Number 5 was on fire.
Our guest judge says number 5 was on fire, and our studio audience does indeed agree. All right. Unfortunately, Leader 1, you are leaving us tonight. Let's take a look at how your journey with us has been this season.
Leaving the One Day Leader House for the first time in 3 months, going back home is really exciting, but I'm really nervous because I don't know what to expect when I get home. I've been told that they have planned something really special. I'm looking forward to seeing the community supporting me. it makes me so happy to see that my family is really supporting me and that my community is behind me.
Ekhaya kujatshule kuyadlilizela kwenziwa zonke izinto ezinhle ngoba inkosazana ibuyile.
We're so happy to see her. We're very proud of her. Ngathi the world is watching us when they're watching her.
Mangimbona uGugulethu TV ngiyengajabula ngoba bengazi ukuthi ngelinye ilanga uzogcina lapho because she was born a leader.
Ugogo from esikolweni bekuyi leader asesesikolweni lapha eKensington.
The one person I really wish was here to see all of this is my mom. So this woman was absolutely everything to me. And when she passed away 4 years ago, I didn't know that, there would come a point in my life when I'd need her so much, because everything that I have accomplished is because of her hard work. I'm only here today because of her. And I really hope that wherever she is, she's very proud of me. And she's seeing everything that I've done because
And Gugulethu, you can be absolutely proud of yourself. We are proud of you. And your mom is looking down on you. And she's so proud of the woman that you are. Thank you for sharing yourself and being a part of our journey. We'll now give you 30 seconds to say your parting words.
I would like to thank Mountaintop Productions, Mr. Mapasa Brian. I would like to thank Rochelle for dressing me, Osmapifa and Paul for doing my makeup. I would like to thank Catherine, Debucho, and all the guest judges we've had here. I'd like to thank all of you guys who have been absolutely phenomenal. You've contributed towards my personal growth in a way I can't even begin to mention. I'd like to thank every single member of my family, everybody who has ever voted, all the strangers who prayed for me and supported me. Thank you so, so very much to SABC One, SABC Education.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leader One. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Thank you very much to our contestants, our judges, our studio audience, and of course to you at home for watching this episode. Mr. Kunguluza, once again, siyabonga kakhulu, baba. Wow, that was One Day Leader. What an emotional ending. Thank you very much. Now, we'd like to remember Umama Nomzamo Winifred Madikizela Mandela, who was born on September 26, 1936 in Mbizana. Following an extended illness, she left us on the 2nd of April this year. May your contributions leave us with the true meaning of Imbokodo, and more importantly, its learnings and teachings for future generations. Humble blessings to your family, friends and loved ones. Hamba kahle, qhawekazi lama qhawekazi. From myself, Upol Shongum, Timanzu Bambolo, Imageza ngolbisi yami entahleti. Good night.